Welcome to a new episode of The Graveyard Shift. Today, we're going to be talking about a story recounted by a viewer from Singapore. This incident took place in Bukit Panjang. I had just finished work around 10 PM. I then remembered that I had made plans to meet up with a friend for supper. I was incredibly tired, and so I asked him if I could just come over and hang out. He agreed. And so I left my workplace and went to my friend's house. I did not feel the desire to walk long distances, so I was looking forward to finally being able to relax at his place. I felt guilty if I were to cancel this meetup, as my friend had just gone through a messy divorce. He lived alone, and his kids were living with their mother. That night, throughout the journey, from hailing a taxi all the way to my friend's house, I was filled with uneasiness, but I didn't know why, so I shrugged it off. By the time I arrived, it had just started to rain heavily. I quickly left the taxi and went towards the void deck. It was unusually empty. I had been to his house multiple times before, and the void decks were always occupied, be it seniors, children, or teens. Well, usually around this timing, it would be mostly teens. As I made my way towards the lift, the feeling of uneasiness was still plaguing me. Thoughts of cancelling went through my mind, but I had already made the journey, so I might as well just see it through. I knocked on the door a few times and there was no answer. It was very weird, as I could clearly see that there was someone inside the house, due to the fact that there was a source of light emanating from his room window. I could hear that someone was running room to room and items were falling. Finally, after a few minutes, my friend opened his door. The instant he opened his door, a strange smell wafted towards me. I shrugged it off and went to greet my friend. We went inside and talked for hours. We talked about our schooling days, our jobs, and much more, until I realized it was already 2 AM in the morning. He persuaded me to stay over since it was raining and I was feeling tired anyways. We then continued to talk, and after a while, I felt fatigued and sleepy. I then went to sleep on the sofa of my friend's living room. My friend slept in his room and switched off all the lights before heading to bed. In the darkness, I felt goosebumps, as it was unusually dark and the only source of light was from the corridor, which was clearly visible as there were no curtains. I ignored it and went to sleep. Suddenly, I woke up from the sound of tapping on the window of the living room. I slowly opened my eyes and saw 4 figures staring directly at me. In that instant, I could vaguely make out a figure which resembled a shrouded corpse. Another was a figure resembling a Pontianak. Another, a Gandharva-like creature. And another creature resembling a bald man with red eyes and gaping mouth. I hid under my blanket and uttered prayers. The knocking on the window became louder and louder and suddenly stopped. The whole night I couldn't sleep as I could hear the occasional tapping. Once in Subuh, I quickly washed my face and got ready to leave. As I was getting my work bag, I noticed one of the Islamic texts that my friend hung on his wall had a small folding on the edge. I took a closer look and pulled on the fold and realized it was a sticker which was hiding a horrifying inscription which looked to be a mantra. Maybe the uneasy feeling I got as I made my way towards my friend's house was a warning to not go there. I quickly left the house and texted him that there was an emergency at home. I did not meet him again. That is it for this episode of The Graveyard Shift. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again soon.